The Lakers, meanwhile, still do not have a coach.
Getting worried, Colin. I saw some odds where Redick is being linked to the Pistons now, which would be humiliating for the Lakers.
So, yes, J.J. Redick talked about as the next Pistons coach. So, let's be honest. Football in America is the coaching sport, where you can take a roster, tweak it a little bit, go from bad to good. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's done it multiple times. Urban Meyer's done it at college. Bill Parcells did it in the NFL. You can tweak an NFL roster, and coaches have more impact. First of all, they have more power than other coaches. They have more say in play calling than other sports. And you can build football cultures. You're seeing Harbaugh do it in the Chargers very, very quickly. And so NBA coaching is a lot of managing personalities and egos. And the Lakers just clearly do not value coaches. Strange, considering the best modern coach is Phil Jackson, but and he did very well in Los Angeles, but they don't value coaches. They view them as very disposable. And let's be fair here. Last 6 champions are 6 different teams. Half the coaches of those teams who are champions, they're coaching somewhere else. I mean, Nick Nurse is coaching somewhere else. Mike Budenholzer won a title, got fired. He's coaching somewhere else. And so I do think football coaches simply matter more than other coaches. If you look at 3 of the coaches we view as really elite, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, Eric Spoelstra, combined last year won a single playoff game. A single playoff game. Popovich got Wemby. No impact on the win-loss record. And Popovich is a good coach, great coach. And I think there's a couple of factors here. Number one, as salaries continue to escalate in the NBA with a new TV deal at $7-8 billion a year, it's going to be harder to coach in the NBA. Players are going to have much more say, much more power. Donovan Mitchell wanted J.B. Bickerstaff gone in Cleveland, and he got him gone. he got him jettisoned. I mean, that's just the way the league works. It's not a knock on Donovan Mitchell. It happens every year at least once. LeBron's done that a couple of times under the radar. So, and the Celtics, let's be honest about the Celtics champion. I mean, didn't that feel mostly about not even players? It felt like it was driven by general managers. Danny Ainge got Tatum and Brown to the Celtics, smart drafting. And then Brad Stevens, who didn't have that much impact as a coach, but great impact as a general manager, went and got Derek White from a tanking team, Porzingis from a tanking team, and Drew Holiday from a tanking team. The Celtics don't feel like they're Joe Mazzulla's team. He'd only had 1 year as a head coach before Boston. It was at a Division II school. So they built a good staff around him. But the Celtics championship felt like Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens driven. And that's not a knock on coaches. I mean, they threw Joe Mazzulla into that because of some actions by the previous coach. And it was, okay, we're fine. And the previous coach was supposed to be a high-rising, ascending star coach. And Mazzulla was kind of like, uh-oh, could be in trouble here. And Mazzulla won the title. So I look at this. What head coach in basketball could take this Lakers roster over and make a real difference? A football coach's difference. Well, Kerr, Pop, and Spoelstra can't even do that. I mean, Steve Kerr's great. He's not available. So the Lakers clearly, people's actions tell you what they value. The Lakers are going to hire their, 7th coach in 13 years? And this J.J. Redick thing, he's the lead, he's out, he's in, Dan Hurley. They just don't value coaches. Doesn't mean they're necessarily wrong. I think they have some value, but they don't have an NFL or a college football coaching value. You are managing, to a large degree, personalities, a rotation, and egos. So yesterday, Tom Pelissero, smart guy, was on Rich Eisen's show. And he was talking about something, the NBA's got this thing where it's called like a super max, so players can only make, there's a certain level on it. And by the way, I've always felt that salary caps to some degree are like sports socialism, but you probably need it because you have big cities, small cities. And if you look at baseball right now, the Dodgers and the Yankees, big economies, they just dwarf other rosters. They just have more good players. It's not even particularly close. And neither team has been at full strength this year, and they're great. And so Tom Pelissero was talking about like a potential, owners are talking about it now in the NFL, a potential quarterback cap. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm not sure if I'd be for or against it. What I am against is paying good quarterbacks great money. And it's always struck me as odd, as much as America loves football and obsesses over football, fantasy football, betting football, watching football. We are a football-loving nation. It's our soccer in Europe. We love it. And you can put it on Thursday, put it on Monday, put it on Sunday, put it on Saturday. I mean, UFL just comes out. It's getting like 1.2, 1.3 million people. It's been a league for an hour and a half. But it always cracks me up. If you go to the last 12 quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl, there's only two ways to do it. Have a Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Peyton Manning, next level superstar. Like a really elite all-time guy. Or have a talented guy on a rookie contract. Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco was in his last year before he got paid. And then there was the outlier, the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz Super Bowl. Both those guys weren't getting paid yet. That's it. That's it. Last 12 years. So when I hear media, fans I get, but even fans I think are so much smarter today than years ago with football because they watch it, they care about it. These people that are winning fantasy football leagues, it's not easy. Like it's competitive. Fans are smarter than ever. You can go ask people in the DraftKings business and those kind of businesses that the sports bettor is smarter than he's ever been, and he's getting smarter. Except when it comes to quarterbacks and saying, pay Tua the bag and pay Dak the bag. You are immediately eliminated. Immediately eliminated if you look at our last 12 years from Super Bowl conversations. Based on the last 12 Super Bowls and the only two quarterbacks who have won, which is an all-time talent or a really talented young quarterback not making any money, there are only 12 quarterbacks that are in the Super Bowl bubble this year. And I'll give you those 12 quarterbacks. The upper echelon guys who are really all-time elite arm talents, and I think you know who they are. We can put them on the screen. Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Patrick, Aaron, and Matt Stafford. I'll keep Lamar on, though he struggled in the playoffs. He wins 77% of his games. And I think Aaron Rodgers, though he's old with that defense, Aaron still, when he lets go of that football, it doesn't look like almost anybody else on the planet. So those teams are in the Super Bowl bubble. And then the other six, these are six really good quarterbacks, and they're not getting paid yet. I consider them very talented and not getting paid. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, and C.J. Stroud. I think Purdy's the least talented, but he's talented enough, and he's not making a nickel. And that's it. Now, who's not on that list? Jared Goff, who I think's really good, but not in the top six, and really, really expensive. And as much as I like Detroit, if you look at the last 12 years, there's two groups. You got to be an all-time. I mean, Lamar Jackson is better in the pocket than anybody wants to acknowledge, and he is the best moving quarterback I've ever seen. And Aaron's older, but he still slings it like almost nobody else can. So for that argument for J-Mac, the Jets are in the Super Bowl bubble. They have an all-timer. It helps if your all-timer isn't the highest-paid quarterback in the league. Brady took pay cuts, so did Drew Brees. But that's kind of it. So for all we know about football, and I think fans know more than they've ever known, when I see people saying, you got to pay Tua, you got to pay Dak, no, you can do that. It will avoid chaos, but you're out of the Super Bowl conversation. And I don't think we'll ever have a quarterback cap, but it's an interesting conversation.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.